All praise, honor, glory go to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Peace and safety to the hopefully elect. All the sincere Akim, those scattered throughout the four corners, the ones that believe in this pure word out of a pure heart, in sincerity and in truth. And in this lesson, I'm going to break down Revelation chapter 12 and verse 6. Bring out the correct edification, man, through the precepts, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. So it says, and the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of God that they should feed her there 1,200 days. Now, in the previous lesson, I went into the 1,203 shows you what that was referring to. So in this lesson, I'm going to show you who the woman is, how the woman fled, and the wilderness, meaning where she fled to that place prepared of God. All right. So now let's get the first precept. Go to the book of Luke. We all know the woman dealing with the Israelites, the elect of Israel. Okay. Not the whole nation. And we're going to prove that in the book of Luke. The book of Luke, chapter 17 and verse 34. And it reads, I tell you in that night that there shall be two men in one bed, the one shall be taken and the other shall be left. So this is how the woman fled. She was taken. Two women shall be grinding together, and one shall be taken and the other left. Two men shall be in the field, one shall be taken and the other left. So this is not dealing with all Israel. This is only dealing with the elect, who's referred to as that woman. All right. How she's going to be taken, let's show you. Let's go back to Revelation chapter 12 and show you how she's going to be taken. All right. 12 and 6. And let's look it up. The word fled, G5343. And it says to flee away, seek safety by flight. So that's how that woman's going to be taken. That's how those in Luke 17 is going to be taken. To flee, to shun, or avoid by flight. It says to be saved by flight, to escape safely out of danger. It says to flee, and this is the main point, to vanish. All right, so you have accounts in the Bible with Philip, he vanished. The prophet Elijah vanished. Enoch vanished. All right, so by the way of the angels, all right, referred to as the chariots in the Bible. Okay, so that's how they was taken. That's how they fled. Okay, so now let's go back to the book of Luke. Let's go back to the book of Luke, chapter 17. So now we see how those in Luke 17 was taken, how that woman fled. Now let's deal with the wilderness. Let's go down to verse 37. And it says, and they answered and said unto him, where, Lord? Where, Lord? So the apostles asking the Lord, where are these people being taken? And the Lord answered and said unto them, wheresoever the body is, thither will the eagles be gathered. Now let's get a precept and show you that those bodies are referring to dead bodies, are referring to carcasses. This is Matthew 24 and verse 28. Let's get it. Matthew 24 and verse 28 said, for wheresoever the carcasses is, so those bodies in Luke are dead bodies, all right, carcasses. There will the eagles be gathered. So now let's get some more edification. Let's go back to the book of Revelations, verse 16, chapter 16. Revelation 16 and 16. And it reads, Behold, Salakia, and he gathered them together, and he gathered them together. Who is the them? Those bodies. All right. Ultimately, they're going to be dead bodies. And I'm going to give you the understanding of what that's referring to. All right. So it says, and he gathered them together in a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. Armageddon. So let's look up this Armageddon. Let's see what this place, this wilderness is referring to. Let's look up this word Armageddon. And it says Armageddon, the hill or city of Megiddo, a literal place. All right, place. Remember, not an event, but a place called Armageddon in the Hebrew tongue. Megiddo, all right, north of Manasseh, where in Israel. Let's prove that. Let's go to Ezekiel. Let's go to the prophet Ezekiel, chapter 39, and bring it out. Let's start at verse 11. Verse 11. And it says, And it shall come to pass in that day that I will give unto Gog, that's the them, all right, that's the dead bodies who's going to be gathered, all right, those carcasses, let's prove it, a place there. We know what that place is, Megiddo, in the Hebrew tongue called Armageddon, there of graves in Israel, So there go your carcasses right there, man. All right. There go your carcasses right there. And it says the valley of the passengers on the east of the sea, and it shall stop the noses of the passengers. Those carcasses, man. All right. Remember that Lord answered and said unto them, whatsoever the bodies is, those dead bodies, those carcasses, there will the eagles be gathered. Where? In Megiddo. Armageddon in the Hebrew tongue. A place called Armageddon in the Hebrew tongue. All right. In Israel. Okay. In Israel. So it says, and there shall they bury Gog, those carcasses, and all his multitude, and they shall call it the valley of Hamagog, the valley of Hamagog. Now let's jump down. Let's jump down to verse 17 and deal with the eagles. All right. And remember it said, wherever so the eagles going to be gathered. All right. Let's prove that point. This is Ezekiel 39 and 17. And thou, son of man, thus saith the Lord power, speak unto every feathered fowl. There go the eagles right there. And to every beast of the field, assemble yourselves and come together, gather yourselves on every side to the sacrifice that I do sacrifice unto you. So there go your eagles being gathered right there. Okay? Even a great sacrifice upon the mountain of Israel. Remember, this is taking place in Israel. Megiddo, in the Hebrew tongue, a place called Armageddon, man. Okay? And you can Google it on the map, and it'll pull up on your Google, man. All right? And you can see the literal place, Megiddo, okay? In Israel. Okay, Armageddon, that they may eat the flesh and drink the blood. Ye shall eat the flesh of the mighty and drink the blood of the princes of the earth, rams, lambs, and of goats, bullocks, all of them fatling of Bashan. And ye shall eat the fat till ye be full, and drink the blood till ye be drunken of my sacrifice, which I have sacrificed for you. All right, so this is the complete understanding, the correct understanding, man. So now let's go back to that Revelation chapter 12 And let's read verse 6 again with some understanding now. Okay, so it says, "And the woman," all right, we know that the woman is referring to the righteous of Israel, those deemed to be delivered from the foundation of the earth, the elect, fled. Now we know how they fled. They was taken in Luke 17. All right. They vanished. All right. According to Matthew 24, the Lord gonna send the angels. All right, the chariots. All right, to deliver his elect from the four winds of the earth. All right. So that's how they fled. That's how they was taken into the wilderness. Now we know what the wilderness is referring to based on the precepts, man. Megiddo, Armageddon, Israel, where she had a place prepared of God. So that's that place prepared of God, man, for the elect, for those who was taken in Luke 17, man, that they should feed her there 1,200 days. Now let's jump down to verse 14, and it says, "And to the woman were given two wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness." She might vanish the same way Philip vanished. Okay? The same way Philip vanished. Okay? By the way of the chariots, which are what? The angels. All right? So that's how they was taken. All right? Into the wilderness, we know what the wilderness is referring to now. All right? Armageddon, a place, not an event, a place called Armageddon, which is what? Megiddo, which is what? North of Manasseh in the land of Israel. And to her place where she was nourished for a time and times and a half time from the face of the serpent, All right, that times and a half times equals to what? 3.5 years, man, which equals to what? 1,200 days. And that's the correct understanding of Revelation 6, man. All right. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.